Rock'n'roll, fiskeball, köttkakor och fårikål, fiskesupp och kaviar, kocken spiller på gitarr, potäterna de kokar, barnen de ropar oh yeah!
Hello everyone, I am Devi Ward and you are watching Sex as Medicine TV.
I am Marthe Schneider, and Devi and I are the co-founders of Tibetan Tantra Inc. Holistic Sex Education, and we're here today to answer yet another question from you listeners and viewers out there. And today's question is regarding male sexuality and semen. So I'm just going to read what our viewers sent us. My name is Rai, and I have been listening to the podcast and the radio and now the YouTube show. My question is if ejaculating sperm and semen out of the body is releasing energy, what happens to a man when he undergoes a vasectomy? So that's two questions in one. And then he goes on to say, I have been shooting clients now for almost 8 years. Would this affect anything at all? Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Answer.
Yeah, that is an awesome question. So thank you so much for sending that in to us. So you have a vasectomy and you're wondering if it's okay for you to still have ejaculatory orgasms. So the thing to understand, and you should know this, is that when you have a vasectomy, semen is still coming out. It's just minus the actual sperm. But your body is still producing semen. So semen is a combination of the very nutrient-rich sperm, but also very nutrient-rich in and of itself. So there's a few things to take into consideration when we're talking about semen retention and non-ejaculatory orgasms for men. Number one, we're dealing with both the physical body and the energy body. So we're going to talk about the physical body in a little bit, and I'm going to read to you about the chemical composition of semen. But when we're talking about the energy body, so when you ejaculate, it's not just a release of biological fluids coming out, it's actually an energy discharge. And Jacques Drouin, who I trained with for over 5 years, taught me, and he'd been training in Tantra for over 30 years, and this is true in the Taoist tradition as well, that when a man ejaculates, his brain energy, like the energy from his consciousness, drops down his spine to his sacrum and goes shooting out his penis. And so, you know, if you know about ejaculation, like you guys can squirt across the room. That's not just your pelvic floor muscles contracting and releasing. That's energy, that's chi, that's your life force, right? And so it's very typical for a male body, after he has an ejaculatory orgasm, to feel tired, to want to go to sleep, to feel drained. And yes, that has to do with the release of prolactin, but it also, again, it's a massive discharge of energy. That's why you feel this release. Like guys talk all the time about, well, am I going to get that release? So it is a sensation of letting go. And it's not just physical, it's energetic. So if you are ejaculating for your orgasm, whether there's sperm in it or not, you are discharging your life force. There is a discharge of chi, of energy, and that's not always a bad thing. So, you know, I advocate for males to regulate ejaculation. Not saying don't ever ejaculate, it's regulate and learn how to separate orgasm from ejaculation so that you can cultivate your full multi-orgasmic capacity. Men are just as multi-orgasmic, if not more, than females. My partner has more orgasms than I do, and I come a lot. So non-ejaculatory, full body, and he ejaculates once approximately every 6 weeks. So that's that. So then when we're talking about chemical composition, I'm actually going to read an article to you, and then we're going to leave the link in the bottom here so you can look at it yourself. You know, there's not a lot of Western science regarding that advocates for semen retention, and in fact, quite the opposite. But Eastern science for, you know, over 5,000 years has advocated for men retaining the semen for health benefits, and they've documented this for 5,000 freaking years, right? And it's fact. It just isn't necessarily validated by Western science because Western science is pretty biased, in my opinion. So he says, semen is a viscous albuminous fluid, alkaline in reaction, which is very rich in calcium and phosphorus, also in lecithin, cholesterol, nucleoproteins, iron, vitamin E, and zinc. In the ejaculation of the normal man, about 226 million spermatozoa are given off. So this isn't going to be true in your case because you don't have sperm, but you've got all this other stuff happening. And these sperm are rich in phosphorized fats, lecithin, cholesterol, nucleoproteins, and iron. An ounce of semen is considered to be equal in value to 60 ounces of blood. Wow. Of which it constitutes an extract of some of its most valuable constituents as far as its vitalizing power is concerned. The semen contains substance of high physiological value, especially in relation to the nutrient of the brain and nervous system. If reabsorption of semen through the wall of the female genital tract has a vitalizing effect on the female organism, which it has been documented it does, the same should be the case in the body of the male in which it is formed and conserved. And conversely, loss of semen must deprive the organism of vitality and valuable substances necessary for the nutrition of nervous tissue, such as lecithin, which has been used therapeutically with great success for the cure of neuroasthenia resulting from sexual excess. So then he goes on to do evidences, and I'm going to share these with you because they're pretty phenomenal. There's a remarkable similarity of chemical composition between the semen and the central nervous system, both being especially rich in lecithin, cholesterol, and phosphorus compounds, which would indicate that seminal emissions withdraw from the body substances necessary for the nutrition of nervous tissues. Excessive voluntary seminal losses are debilitating and harmful to the body and the brain. But the point of this is that this directly validates what Eastern science has been saying for over 5,000 years, that there absolutely is a measurable physiological loss of vital nutrients when a man excessively ejaculates. So what do we mean by excessive? Well, it depends on your age. So the ancient Chinese tradition or the ancient Taoist tradition teaches that a man over the age of 35 takes 8 days to recover from one ejaculation. A male body under the age of 35 takes 3 days to recover. So it very much depends on your age, your health, and how long you've been ejaculating. I would say, and your opinion, your personal opinion. So for me, I'm a tantrika, and I make love with tantric men. And so, well, one in particular, because I'm getting married. So I would say once every 6 weeks that's the standard time period between ejaculations for a man who's 45 or over, once every 6 weeks. So this is the thing, you have to learn the methods to separate orgasm from ejaculation, because we're not advocating for you giving up orgasm at all. I want you to have more orgasms. I want you to have bigger and better orgasms. So what we teach are specific tantric methods to separate orgasm from ejaculation. And is that once you start to have really juicy experiences of non-ejaculatory orgasms, your entire view of what an orgasm is going to transform. And your multiple non-ejaculatory orgasms are going to be so much more fulfilling for you. Your multiple non-ejaculatory orgasms are going to be so much more fulfilling for you than any tiny little sneezy squirt has been. Right? So it's like giving up this mediocre thing because holy shit, you get like an orgasmic buffet.
Yeah. So that exactly is I think what is lacking to a very large degree in the Western medical tradition. If we compare it to the Taoists and other really ancient traditions that have been, practicing this, not just talking about it and researching it, looking at it in a microscope, but actually practicing it and gaining empirical evidence. And I think that, if you ask a person who's never heard of semen retention, well, what do you think about just learning how to separate orgasm and ejaculation and have multi-orgasms? Most people will simply refuse that is actually possible. And I would also say that for any male who's had the experience of making love and and noticing that at the moment of orgasm, whether or not it's ejaculatory, has maybe experienced that their partner goes into orgasm at the same time. Now, how do you explain that? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Is it because the semen is causing her body to orgasm? No. So this is you can go into your own lab and just get your own experiences to see what your energy is actually doing, and by looking at how the other person is responding. And not necessarily a female, anyone who's being penetrated, whether it's male sexuality or male-female, to simply just listen in and noticing what is the effect of your energy when it's literally being squirted out your penis.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and speaking of Western, clinician stuff or clinical stuff studies, Beverly Whipple and Barry Komisarek, they wrote a wonderful book called The Science of Orgasm, and they very clearly state that ejaculation is a reflex of it's a function of the sympathetic nervous system. It is literally a reflex. It's like it's a sneeze. It is not necessary to orgasm. Orgasm is a function of the parasympathetic nervous system, and they did studies where they injected men with things or poked them with electrodes so that their sympathetic nervous system wouldn't kick in and they couldn't ejaculate, and they still had amazing orgasms. So male orgasm is not dependent on ejaculation. Quite the opposite, in fact.
Exactly. So going back to the question, or one of the questions of this gentleman, that he is still ejaculating and he's asking, is there energy coming out of my penis at the moment of ejaculation? The answer to that is yes.
Yes. And is there a physiological impact? Absolutely yes, because your semen, the seminal fluid itself, even minus the sperm, is rich in nutrients. So our advice is to learn the tantric techniques of separating orgasm from ejaculation and cultivate your full orgasmic potential as a man, because right now most men are experiencing just the tiniest little piece.
So do that for the pleasure of yourself and your partner. So with that, we're going to say thank you for today. See you next time. Ta-ta.